here, it's got two little alignment aids to help you understand the right and how come you slice. And this is for a gentleman that's talking with Twitter. I had a question. They have been working on TrackMan, and they're doing what supposedly the new kind of trend is to kind of take back a little bit straight with a little shut, and they come back in and they're trying to shut it down, but they can't figure out why they're hitting it kind of right. And the numbers look fine, and the areas look fine, but he still has a cut to it, and he wants to get rid of that cut. So the idea is what's happening is that we get too little structured. We kind of take it straight up. We don't have a lot of weight shift there, and we kind of keep our stature right in line, and then we take it straight up, and then we kind of stay too much on this side, and then we kind of trap it, what we call trapping it. And when you trap it, it still has a little cut. It could slice just a smidgen and create a spin to the ball to the right. My suggestion is that sometimes we get too structured for golf, and we don't get the feeling of how it motion goes. And we have to kind of make sure that the idea is that we have our target line here, and our feet and all this grass inside between the target line and our toes is called inside. And all the grass on the other side of the line is called outside. And a lot of people nowadays are really trying to keep that club face to stay on the target line, and they get a little upright with it. They're getting the form going okay, but it's how they're attacking it. We call it a little trap shot, and it still kind of creates the ball to kind of go off to the right. My suggestion is to add a little weight shift to it. You might need a little bit so that your head stays behind the ball. A little bit of balance comes to the back. You're still seeing it through the eyes. You don't have to keep the nose right at the ball. I can still see the ball with my eyes, but it adds a little bit of weight shift here, which also adds a little curve to your takeaway rather than taking it straight up. Because if you go straight up, it comes across, it goes outside to in, and still creates a spin to the right. If you kind of try to keep the club a little bit somewhere on the inside, curve it because you're getting some weight shift over to this side. You curve it, and then it's easier to kind of go down the target. The idea is that we want the club face, we want it to kind of go a little bit inside. It has some weight shift, and then we get to the ball, and then you go down the target line. It should help you to straighten out your ball flight. But because you take it straight back on your takeaway, they get a little too straight back. They're not doing some weight shift there, and then they come in here and they come a little what we call trapped, and then our numbers might be okay, but there's a slight cut to it. This is how the path comes in there, and it creates kind of a little bit of a slice, even though you might see some numbers. So sometimes you get a little false rating and you're not sure. Most of the time we're not sure if we do enough little weight shift. We're trying to be too precise on our arms and hands. I would suggest as you go back that you have a little bit of a lean or some way to keep the head behind the ball. It keeps you a little bit more on line rather than too straight up. Just it kind of go with the body. If it turns, the club should turn a little bit. We're really trying, what we're seeing is the younger players are trying to take it too straight up, and then they come too, they kind of cut it, or their path is wrong. It goes from outside to in. Even though they might have a square face, it's still the way the path is, it creates a cut. So anyway, try a little weight shift. Maybe do it either before your swing. Maybe you might need a little tilt to make it happen so that you get better. But try not to be too straight here. It creates that club face to be a little bit more straight up. And if you have a little tilt, you might have a little bit more curve to it. And then you can probably fire it off, and your club face and your path will be a little bit better where it's supposed to go to your target line. And that should help for for you as a question on Twitter. We were talking about that. But anyway, for anybody else looking for that, sometimes the slightest weight shift will kind of cure that. Or if you do have a little weight shift, make sure the club kind of goes with you on the turn, not trying to be too pronounced and straight up. That's kind of what I see in the videos that were sent to me. That's not a cure for everybody, but it might cure for some. So try that for a tip. Anyway, my name is Kathy Gildersleeve Jensen. I'm the 2014 PGA National Teacher of the Year. Just a quick tip for the online users out there that are trying to figure out why they cut sometimes and they're looking at numbers on launch monitors. I think you're going to find a surprise that your path will change, and then your ball flight should change too. So have a good time, and check me out on golfresultsnow.com or any of my social media venues. Subscribe, like, and follow all Golf Results Now, and that's my brand. So I have all kinds of things on there, and take a look at it. I'll be posting some other quick tips for you, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.